You need to essentially enable your employees to be the best people they can be. You've hired them to be as productive as possible and to do what they do best. It's your responsibility to ask them what's going on, how can I help, how can I make your job easier?
The bosses and managers out there, how do you expect them to be a better boss? What is the top piece of advice?
Top piece of advice would be to understand how your employees are motivated. So having a read of this particular book, I haven't written it. It's the 5 Languages of Appreciation. It's a really good book that will help you empower your organisations by encouraging people. I think as a manager you need to be the poo umbrella, really. You need to managers essentially holding the umbrella so that all the crap that can happen from above in an organisation is managed by the people manager, so that the people that are under the manager, that are under the umbrella, don't need to deal with all that crap that happens. But you need to essentially enable your employees to be the best people they can be. You've hired them to be as productive as possible and to do what they do best. So if you notice a change in them, it's your responsibility to ask them what's going on, how can I help, how can I make your job easier, and remove the roadblocks, remove the crap, so that they can do what they do best. And a good manager will be proactive in that and won't necessarily wait for the employee to put up their hand.
For a boss, what advice do you have to stop being unfair?
Education is key. So I'd really suggest having a look at that unconscious bias video from Google and just understanding whether or not your unconscious biases are influencing the people that you employ and how you run your training, how you run your promotions. Because it's Malcolm Gladwell's book called Blink. He was talking about your stated values. So I might say that I am ethnically inclusive, but when I was giving out the Tim Tams and Vegemite and that today, statistically it might have shown an unconscious bias towards certain people, which I don't know about. So there's this unconscious bias that we all have as humans. So being mindful of that, you might not think you're treating people unfairly, but being mindful that you might be and just looking at things from a more objective perspective will certainly help with that.
The embracing change, what should a boss do with that? Obviously company has to keep evolving. Yeah,
if you don't evolve, you die. The key element there with change is communication. There's got to be a purpose. So if you just say things are changing, people aren't really going to get on board. If we say things are changing because of this greater purpose, and then if we also give people the ability to be part of that change, then the change is going to be a lot smoother. But communication is the absolute key.
And is it? Do you advise doing it similar to the way we do it at SSW with just a company meeting in that style, or is there better ways? It
really depends on the culture of the company. I would suggest not doing it by email and just expecting people to have read it, because not everyone reads emails. So town hall meetings and things like that are great because you can get the message across that you want. But then we also need to have other forums to be able to receive information the other way from employees, because not everyone's going to be comfortable putting up their hand, for example, in front of a room full of people. Yeah. So maybe there can be some side meetings or things like that can take place as well. So there's got to be a variety of communication methods to be able to accommodate the variety of people.
And bosses, for work-life balance, what do you advise?
Be a good example.
Be a good example. That's a good advice.
I'm looking at you.
And hard. Thank you so much, Kylie. This has been a great chat.
Thanks.
You are so empathetic. I love how you do this. So with that, this is Adam Kogan signing off for SSW TV.